Aye. Boy, you know you need to come give me that dick. He wanna hit from the back cause I'm thick. I like to fuck on him when I get lit. Yeah, tell me this pussy is shit. Hey, oh, he's so thirsty. Ride that dick like a horse. See, he said, are you tired? Hey.
Pink like the inside of your baby. No, I'm just playing. Okay. So it is 8:32 p.m. and since I was already recording another video for some other situation thing, I decided to record this video for you. So this is gonna literally be off the top of this dome right here. The topic basically, well, I was trying to decide on which I would prefer, whether it be my experience at, let's just say, Empire Beauty School, or my near-death experience, or the aftermath of my near-death experience, or should I just make this a series of story times? So, you know, since I'm gonna do that, I might as well start at the beginning, right? So I was dealing with this guy, right, and it turns out that he wasn't S-H-I-T, and this story ain't going where you think it's going, so just sit back, relax, get your popcorn, get chips, your drink, your wine, whatever you like to. So I ended up splitting up with him, and he ended up moving to wherever. This man, y'all, this is beside the point, but this man had a wife, he had a previous baby mama, he had another baby mama on the way, and he had another girlfriend while dealing with me. Can you believe it? But let's get back to it. So I stopped dealing with him, right? I had just started beauty school here in Tucson at Empire. I'm gonna just say Empire because they a bunch of simps. And I think it was actually either the first or the second official night of starting school. I just got really sick out of nowhere. It was like somebody put a spell on me. And I know who it was, but we're not gonna get into that. But I just dropped sick out of nowhere. Like, I was burning up, felt like I had a fever, it felt like my throat was closing up. And from that night, it just got worse day by day. And I think I didn't even make it, because this was either Monday or Tuesday. And I don't even think that I made it to Thursday or Friday. So I started, as I stated, I started getting sicker and sicker as the days went on. So it progressed to me feeling so nauseous, like I was gonna throw up, like, you know, the world was spinning around me. I couldn't stand. I was so weak. I could barely walk down the stairs of my apartment. Like, it was just so bad. Like, I had to work from my bed because I physically and literally could not get out of bed to work. The most that I could do was move my hand to work at home. So I'm gonna fast forward. So this is also funny and important. So I had just got my nipples pierced with this other guy that I used to talk to. And so my mama, she is such a warrior and such a anxiety filled person. So she had me thinking in my head that I was sick because of my nipple piercings. So it was the day that I passed out. So it was this, I'm gonna go to the day before that. So it was this lovely couple, this white couple that saw me struggling to go down the stairs because, like, literally, y'all, I was hanging from a thin string. So they helped me down the stairs and they helped me to my car, and luckily it was this Ivy place that is literally directly across the street from where I used to live at that time. So I slowly drove there. They gave me an IV. Like, I felt better, but I still didn't feel good. Then boom, y'all, woo. The next day, God doggone, the next day I had clocked in for work, right? And this is where my story gets a little fuzzy and foggy because, like, y'all, like I said, I was about to be gone, y'all. So I'm working, right? And I don't even know if I finished work or not, but I do remember that I was feeling so sick. Like, I could barely open my eyes, I could barely think, I could barely function. The first thing I did was call my mama. And honestly, from here, I don't really remember nothing besides, so at the time, I had my precious baby Anubis, who was a fully black cat. That was my baby. He was so good. I miss him so much. But I had him. So what I do remember is that I was on the phone with my mama, and I tried to stand up, and I fell backwards and hit my head on my computer desk. And so like the room was fading to gray, almost black. And the only thing that I remember, because I dropped my phone when I fell and I'm nearly passed out, the only thing that I remember hearing was a bang on the door. So I literally crawled from my bedroom all the way to my front door, and I just barely had enough energy to unlock the door for the firemen or the emergency services, whoever they are, to come and get me. And like literally everything is fading to pitch black, and all that I can remember is them saying, "Watch the cat, get the cat." When I tell you, my man Anubis, he was one of the best cats ever, and I love him, and me and him were so close. That was my son, but that was my peace, and that was my sanctuary outside of myself. So to hear them say, "Get the cat," because he was trying to follow me, because cats have this incredible ability to know when their owners or their humans are not feeling good, and man knew that something was out, and he didn't want these random men taking me up out the apartment passed out. So he was trying to follow me wherever I was going. That part be getting to me every time, because that's the last thing that I remember before everything went black. So speed it up, because I don't know what was happening in between time. Oh, and keep in mind, my sister and my mama, when I was on the phone with my mom before I passed out, they only heard that loud ass thump, and they didn't hear nothing else, and they tried calling me and couldn't get a hold of me. And keep in mind, I live in Tucson, Arizona, and they live all the way in Indiana. So it was like, I can't even imagine what thoughts were going through their head at the time, because like their baby girl could possibly be somewhere dead, you know, and they just never know. So I'm gonna fast forward to when I woke up out of unconsciousness in the hospital with a busted up thumb and blood clots and bruising all over my arms and fingers, and I had tubes and wires and stuff sticking out of me. Like, y'all, this was like one of the most scariest situations that I've been in. Y'all just don't understand. Like, I wish that on nobody, not even my worst enemy. Like, so I woke up, and I woke up in the hospital. The staff was terrible there. If y'all want to know details, just in the little comment section below, just let me know that you want a part 2 to this one, so you can know all the nasty grimy details. But I was at El Rio Hospital. Oh, terrible staff, terrible, everything terrible. So they didn't come and like take care of me like when I needed to get up, because keep in mind, y'all, I dang near died. The doctor came in and told me, so the normal blood sugar range is 80 to 180. Y'all, my blood sugar was almost 700. He said, had I not made it in the minutes and the seconds that I made it, I could have died or went into a coma. That's how serious it was. So keep in mind, I could not function normally when I woke up, and I needed the assistance, you know, which I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, because it was somebody in the room next to me. I guess they had passed away, so they were busy. It was a white family, so all the staff were busy trying to comfort that white family instead of, you know, tending to me when I am alive and I just woke up. So I ended up moving from that area, and I moved to a nicer part of El Rio, and the staff there, they were way better. I just was a little confused, because you know how they say that when the doctors come in and keep like taking your blood with no explanation, it's for you know, another reason. Well, they kept doing that. And keep in mind, when I had got my nipples pierced, the piercer was so obsessed with my blood. He was talking about how he never seen blood like mine before, and how vibrant and this and that it was. So whole time while they taking my blood, like they literally were sticking me between my bone to get the blood. That stuff hurt. So it was like you know, I wasn't trying to be combative or fight, so I just let them do it. But in my head, I'm like, why do they keep doing this without telling me what it's for? And then when I get out the hospital, they acting like they don't have like a lot of information on my blood and this and that. So what were you doing with my blood? But that's neither here nor there. So I spent a few more days in a nicer area. I was able to start eating. So my diagnosis, what they diagnosed me with, which I found out later is completely false. They diagnosed me with type 1 diabetes based on assumptions because of my age and this and that. So I left the hospital diagnosed as type 1 diabetic, but I later found out that that was not my diagnosis. So in the continued version of this story time, I will go into details on what happened after, you know, I left the hospital. So you get to know like my emotions, the things following, etc, etc. But before I end this, I want to thank my cousins so much, Tisha and Link, because they live like in Phoenix. So they were able to, my sister said that she went on a hunt, baby, to find which hospital I was in because they couldn't get a hold of me. So they it's the El Rio is right up the street from me. So it was El Rio, wasn't it, y'all? My head, when it comes to this date, I just know and remember certain things. I think it was El Rio Hospital that I was in, because then I went to El Rio Health after I left. But either way, it was like literally right up the street from me. So my sister was able to find out what hospital I was and was able to tell my cousins, my beautiful cousins, Link and Tisha, which hospital I was. So the second time I woke up, I saw her beautiful face, and it was just like, it was so emotional for me because I didn't have time to process that I could have been out of here in less than fucking 5 days. Literally, I could have been gone from the earth in less than 5 days. But I just want to thank them for coming through and supporting me and helping me to kind of ease my anxiety, because I was able to see somebody that I was familiar with. I love y'all, Link and Tisha. Thank y'all again. So yes, this concludes part 1 of this. Would it be either 3 or 4 part series? Y'all find out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below if you would like me to get into more juicy details, any topics or discussions that y'all want to have with me. Tell me that you want all the juicy, dirty little secrets. Don't tell me not to hold back next time, especially when it comes to Senpire, because honey, they put me through some shit's naive. Every day it was something, and all I wanted to do was get my credits and graduate. But yeah, so catch me back in part 2 where I give you more details and you are able to tap more into my state of mind, my health, the decline of my health after I got out the hospital because of this misdiagnosis that I told them at the doctor before I was released from the hospital. I told them that I know it's not type 1 because my mom always got me and my sister tested for all of this stuff, which brings me to my most recent discovery, which is what I actually have. So I found out that I am insulin resistant. So you can go years without knowing that you're insulin resistant, and it could one day, you know, be the end and cause you to get hospitalized and end up with type 2 diabetes. I can also create a short little video explaining some of the symptoms that I had and didn't know it was insulin resistance. But I will do that in a later video. Thank you again. I love y'all so much. You are deserving and the universe is serving. And remember that if nobody told you this, bookie boo, Jasmine loves you. Have a good one.
High volume.
Aye. Boy, you know you need to come give me that dick. He wanna hit from the back cause I'm thick. I like to fuck on him when I get lit. Yeah, tell me this pussy is shit. Hey, oh, he's so thirsty. Right that